Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into the microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with Invisible War Blind. I'm just about to go into the Black Gate ruins, so let's do that. This place is full of this like strange mold. Okay, that was remarkably unsuccessful. I wonder if this weapon is even effective against them. Well, judging from the fact it just dropped dead, I would say it is. Okay. The path seems to be pretty linear for now. What the hell is that? Okay, that's pretty weird. Is that a cat's corpse contorted into some weird monstrosity? Okay, that's pretty nonsensical, because it's actually the exact same journal that I found in the old antique shop with the Omar. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would think a journal isn't really something you mass produce and print in multiple issues of. So it isn't even like another page from it, from a different date. It's the exact same one, you know, about his father losing, seeing the world through the sniper's scope, his brother working with the WTO. Okay, that's pretty lazy and disappointing on the part of the game developers, and not to mention it simply doesn't make sense, so I'm not quite sure why they even did it this way. EMP proximity mine. Oh. Okay, I definitely need to be careful, because this bot is actually powerful enough to kill me in just a couple of shots.
You must have no idea who your purity will prevail.
Okay, now I need to be really careful, because if the bot shoots at me, it might kill the Templar, and I would like to avoid that if possible. Well, the exact thing happened, so... so much for, you know, being careful. Anything in the dumpster? Of course. There nearly always is.
Anomaly threat identified.
If only you could find military-grade hardware inside dumpsters so easily in real life, we'd all be rich. Who are they fighting? Oh. I guess it's the SCC?
Impressive work taking down that bot.
Yeah, it's a pity that other Templar died.
Maybe Panzerwerks mechs aren't all they're cracked up to be. Now I can breathe a little easier.
Trier streets. Yeah, so I guess this would be where I would come from if I just went in straight from the square. Okay. That was a close encounter. But I want to actually check this room as well, because there was a camera, so I would assume if there's a camera inside, there's probably also
Tracking infrared disturbance.
probably also something valuable inside. Okay, that didn't really work the way I wanted it to.
Turn back mechanical.
Okay. I've also heard some of the Templar soldiers, but I guess they're upstairs and can't quite work out how to work a ladder, which is a common problem for many NPCs in games.
We've got to find know someone's there.
Okay.
Whoever was making that noise seems to have... neurotoxin!
Small price for the sake of purity.
Okay. Yeah, I guess this is the place. What? And that crate appears to be bugged, and that's not the best hidden entrance I've ever seen. But I guess that's the place Tracer Tong was talking about. And before I go in there, I would like to explore this place to its fullest capacity, as it were. Well, that was unexpected. The game suddenly crashed. It wasn't even a loading screen, so I'm quite surprised by that, but...
It sure sounded like someone was mucking about.
What
Oh
can you,
well.
what can you do?
I wonder what that
Neurotoxin!
purity will.
I didn't really
I've still got some fighting to do!
I didn't really go that far compared to the save, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just surprised because I haven't encountered a hard crash in quite a while now. Guess I'll check upstairs first. I guess the building sort of links at both levels, so... Okay, that guy is lucky he didn't fell down, because then he would surely be dead. Okay. I don't think there is much left to explore apart from the lower level there before I go into the secret laboratory.
I've still got some fight in me.
This shotgun of theirs packs quite a punch. Should probably be more careful around them, but yeah, so I think that's it as far as exploring the area goes. Yeah, I'm back here, so I guess it's time to get into the laboratory here.
I've still got some fight in me. I will not succumb to you.
Okay, that probably wasn't my best strategy.
So this neurotoxin.
For some reason, I thought this one was the other one, and they are all down, but well, at least I didn't die. And they didn't die either, which is also a plus. Well, I have a lot of multi-tools, so don't have to worry about those, at least for now. So I have the image. Wait. Was supposed to get the image of the wow, that isn't really a photo that would tell you much. It's probably one of the worst photos in history of photography as far as telling you some important information about the object being photographed goes. So thanks for nothing. Actually, I don't remember them being less belligerent, at least in the first game. I think there they always attacked you on sight. It's only in this one I've actually encountered one of the Greys, and he was not only passive towards me, he actually spoke, which was quite a big surprise for me. Okay, I don't want to control the turret because then it would kill my opponents, which isn't really something I want. Maybe I should check upstairs first. Okay, this definitely seems like a more important area. So...
I've still got some fight in me.
Okay. There's someone in there. But I don't think it's Her Holiness. She had this kind of very distinct hood. I think it's probably one of the scientists. Or maybe, wait, that's Donna Morgan of the SSC, right?
Are you Her Holiness? It's strange seeing you as just another person.
Yes, I'm just another ordinary human being like you. My name is Nicolette Duclair.
Oh.
Dumier, the leader of your opposition, has taken a special interest in your safety.
The WTO wishes no harm to come to Her Holiness. This summit was to be an opportunity to soothe the tensions between our organizations and to root out the extremists causing trouble in Trier.
I'm impressed that you would protect the leader of your adversaries.
It's okay, Chief Morgan. We can tell him the truth.
The truth?
Alex, the WTO and Order are not as they seem. They are but different faces of the same organization, the Illuminati, an ancient secret society to which Chad and I are the heirs. My mother was the Illuminatus Beth Duclair. The WTO and Order are merely the tools Chad and I are presently using to elevate humanity to the next level.
I know, it's overwhelming. I've dedicated myself to the WTO only to find out it's just a myth they created.
If the WTO and Order aren't actually opposing entities, then what's the point of this summit?
The real opposition right now comes from the Templars, the militant anti-biomodification group. The summit was only a cover to justify our public presence in Trier. Our true goal was to investigate rumors of a Templar splinter cell within the Order.
And what did you find?
With the help of Agent Morgan, I learned that Lumenon Saman is the traitor. He has converted most of the Trier Shard to his extremist views, incited the riots, and has been stealing equipment from the Panzerworks factory.
Saman, he's behind this?
Yes, everything. My kidnapping, the disabling of the gate. He's taken a critical component from it, the sequencing module, to the Order Church in Rockstadt, where his group is headquartered. Once you get that module from him, you'll be able to use the gate.
Thank God she's all right. Good work. My people will secure the facility. In the meantime, we should follow up on what Her Holiness learned about Lumen on Saman. Go to the Tavern and hire a pilot. If you would like a map of Saman's compound, report to the SSC station on your way across town.
Okay, but first, I would definitely like to talk with them some more. And also... Okay, I don't want to screw it up.
Mr. Dumier sent me to safeguard Mr. Claire's return.
She's all yours.
Thank you. I will be assuming command of this facility. Your presence is no longer required.
Yeah, but I want
Report
to
to Mr. Dumier.
talk to them.
Now that you know the WTO isn't what it seems, what are you going to do? Leave the organization?
I don't know. I'm still reeling from the shock. But somehow it's starting to make sense now.
Can you forgive them?
It does make me uneasy, finding out it's all a front. But I can also see what the Illuminati are trying to accomplish and why they must work in secret. I'll probably continue publicly working for the WTO, but with a new awareness of its true importance.
Leave me.
I don't know what I'll finally decide about the WTO, but it's hard to pass up a chance to play a role in...
Report to Mr. Dumier.
Perhaps this is my destiny, to join the Illuminati in their endeavors. It just seems too surreal, that the WTO and Order were fictions all along.
Leave me.
This changes everything. This changes everything.
The WTO and Order are actually two branches of the same organization?
Precisely. We could never lead humanity as one monolithic force, at least not initially. The Illuminati have always worked in secret, and the WTO and Order are just two of our present facades.
But people dedicate their lives to these causes, and it turns out they're just your pawns?
Not at all. We are humankind's servants, not their puppeteers. We knew that human society could not respond to a single voice, so we engineered these organizations. With these fronts, we can optimally lead civilization toward a bright future.
Report to Mr. Dumier.
Saman really is a Templar?
Unfortunately, yes. He has taken the Order's respect for nature and warped it into fanaticism. His quest for purity is just a euphemism for the extermination of modified individuals.
Surely the Illuminati can deal with a few crackpots.
Don't underestimate the Templars. Saman has amassed a great deal of support and resources for his cause.
Your presence is no longer...
When were you planning on telling the public about the WTO and Order connections?
When the time is right. Right now, the general populace simply isn't ready for this kind of information. At this stage, we're only telling select individuals in the higher echelons of each organization.
Then why are you confiding this in me?
Because you're an extraordinary creation, Alex. We've been watching your progress for a long time, waiting for this moment.
Leave me.
We work in secret only because it best serves our purpose. In time, humankind will understand and thank us. My family has a long history with the Illuminati. You might say the same of your bloodlines as well.
Once more, and my patience will have
In
expired.
time, it will all become clear.
You are about to cross the threshold. Report to Mr. Dumier.
Okay, so...
Reassembling tissues. Finished repairing damage.
Okay, I probably shouldn't let the Grey out because I assume he would go and fight the Illuminati troopers, although I kind of pity it. It didn't attack me when I last encountered one of their kind.
JC's gone bad. We do not like the last one's questions. She works with these intruders, and now she's gone through the gate to our home in Antarctica.
You must mean Billy and the Templars. I guess she's already passed through this way. Did she take any Templars with her?
No, just her. Only JC's can use the gate. Apostle Gore even had to bring this one the long way. That control was to keep us all safe, but now that woman has turned wrong.
What does Apostle Core need creatures like you for?
We were a VersaLife experiment. Then JC came and helped us. This one is here, away from all the ice, to help with lab works. But then the Templars came.
I had nothing to do with the attack on this lab. I'm trying to get to JC myself. Can you tell me anything useful?
This one already told the other one from JC everything. Betrayal. This one was to be set free, but it was more lies and destruction. You must not betray. JC may be in danger already.
Okay, I must say,
Take the intruders with you.
it's strange to have an actual conversation with it, not to mention
We wanted just to be left alone.
it's strange that it seems to care about JC in particular. I'm kind of tempted to let it out, but it might not be the best idea because I'm pretty sure
Your presence is no longer required.
the Illuminati trooper would just kill it. Now,
I think these Templars are itching for a war.
I think there's still some parts of the facility I haven't explored. I guess this is the teleporter chamber.
What's this all about, WTO?
It's over, man. Don't even see this anymore. Do you know who you're messing with? I've still got some fight in me. No!
Section 040, threatening a police officer. That carries a pretty stiff sentence. Hey, cut it out!
Okay. So at least this one isn't dead. But unfortunately now that the WTO troops... Oh, is that Tracer Tong's office? That might potentially be interesting.
Time to get this beggar.
Unfortunately now that the WTO troops are here, they're probably going to kill the rest of the Templars. But you can't exactly blame me for that.
I don't know where he is, but he better show up soon. The facility here is being raided by the Templars. So far we're holding our own, but I don't know how much longer that will last. This may be my last transmission.
Okay, a code for some doors. Already read that. So apparently cryogenics technology has made huge strides, and apparently it's now reasonable to assume you'd be able to actually wake up from cryogenic sleep, because in the real world, while it is technically possible at this point to cryogenically freeze an individual in a way that would theoretically keep them alive, you can't quote-unquote defrost them without killing them at this point in time. So they are effectively waiting for the moment it will be possible, but it might never be actually. Okay, read that already about the Greys. And again, this about nanotech at low temperatures, I already read that as well, but I wonder if it ever come to relevance. Maybe, actually, now I'm wondering, maybe the significance of lower temperatures for nano augmentations has something to do with the fact that JC has chosen Antarctica as his base of operations. Maybe it's somehow relevant. Although I doubt he's bioengineered himself to be a penguin. That would be quite a big surprise. Okay, now that is just sad. Like here are the 3 biomods which should be like the most grandiose prize you could achieve in this game, and I don't care for them at all. And I don't really even need to care because I'm fully upgraded and can't do anything with them. It's just sad.
I guess Her Holiness is finally safe now.
But I wanted to check the upstairs. Yeah, because I wasn't here before. Apparently this WTO soldier has ventured out on his own, and it didn't end well for him. There actually wasn't much in here. I actually wasn't here either. Should probably... Ah, what the hell. I can't afford it because at this point I have quite a lot of spare multi-tools laying around.
Initiated repairs. Finished. Operation normal. Repairing damage. Functionality restored.
Just restored power to the experimental device on the lower level. Good, you're thinking ahead. But you'll have to come back later to bring it online. You don't know enough about it yet.
Oh, I didn't even plan to do that. I just sort of clicked on it. Well, I guess I need to get back the component from Saman before I can get the machine working. Okay, but I think now I've explored the facility to its to the fullest, so I guess I am ready to leave.
Good work.
Back to business as usual. Nothing to see here.
But before I leave, actually, I would like to briefly talk about the reveal with Her Holiness. Now, on one hand, it totally makes sense for the Order and the WTO to be the same, you know, the same two faces of the same organization, especially with the fact that Her Holiness turned out to be Nicolette Duclair, who in the first game was actually in love with Chad, so I mean Chad Dumier. So it totally makes sense for them to actually be allies. But I think, strangely enough, I feel like this reveal was kind of undercut by the earlier quest with the coffee shops, the Quickwicks and Peakwoods also being branches of the same parent company, because it's essentially the same exact plot, just on a different level. And to me, it sort of undercuts it and lessens the appeal of the twist when your main twist of the story is basically the same twist as the twist of a minor side quest. It just feels weird to me. Well, but it is what it is. Okay, so I think now I'll go back to the SSC headquarters, because Dumier said he wanted to talk to me and also provide me with a map of Saman's complex, so that might be useful. I won't actually go through the sewers this time, because it seems a much quicker and easier way would be to go through here.
Impressive work taking down that bot.
This is SSC headquarters for Trier.
Okay, so let's go in. So I suppose Saman is no longer here. It wouldn't make much sense.
Admirable job at the gate. I figured they'd bring in a specialist.
Yep.
I asked Mr. Dumier how I joined something like Special Ops, and he just shrugged me off.
Looks like we have a fight on our hands.
Your followers haven't expelled you yet?
Word is leaking out that Her Holiness and I have been secretly working together. I think we can spin that into diplomatic ties.
Or private negotiations. How does that sound, darling?
No need for people to have the perception that we started these organizations for some other purpose.
Unless somebody tells them.
I could tell them myself. They would think it was the same old story. The Illuminati secretly controlling the world. Cool. Some might believe it, but everybody else would laugh in my face.
People want to believe certain things about their leaders. That's always been our key to power.
You said you had a map of the Templar compound.
Yes, of course. Here you are. Find the sequencing module. Go through the gateway to JC Sanctuary. We have our own interest in protecting JC Denton from the Templars.
I would think that you and Apostle Corps would be bitter enemies.
We are, but first the clam must give up its pearl. Good luck, Special Agent Denton. We will call on you when the time comes. In case you need a pilot to take you to the compound, the Nine Worlds Tavern is a good place to hire one.
That was a pretty low trick you played on the world, taking advantage of the collapse to seize power, and then deceiving people with a phony conflict between business and idealism.
No society is without this conflict. Our intention is to develop both principles and then integrate them into an open, secular society.
One puppeted by the Illuminati.
Our work has always done more good than harm. The collapse would have been far more devastating if Chad and I hadn't served the memory of my mother and of my family's history by rebuilding the Illuminati organization, which was nearly destroyed by MJ-12.
There was a time when we were the rebels. The older generation had failed us in so many ways. But now we see that the flaw was in their methods, not their intentions.
Their intention to disguise tyranny with so-called free institutions.
The average citizen in a society of billions is never free, whether because of tyranny or simply because of the contrast between his small size and the size of the government.
We plan to give people a sense of freedom and a prosperous world. In practical, historical terms, that's about as good as it gets.
Be there for us, Alex. The critical time is approaching.
The
old order is generally recognized as the high point of civilization. We simply want to revive it.
You grew up in hard times, Alex. Don't let that make you into a cynic.
Decide where you stand, Alex. It won't be long before you have to choose.
Order will prevail. It always does, whether the cause is mystical or merely secular.
J.C. Denton did what the Illuminati asked. He destroyed Bob Page, the leader of MJ-12. Don't be tricked into believing that the Ilios-J.C. hybrid is true to J.C. It might have its own agenda, one driven by a well-disguised machine intelligence.
I can't believe that madman Saman has transformed the Rockstadt Church into a barracks.
I have business to attend to.
Help us put the world back together, Alex.
Now, actually, right now I'm wondering what happened to Morgan Everett, and if it will ever be, commented on by the game, because Everett was the leader of the Illuminati back in the first game, and actually one of your choices for the ending was helping him. So why isn't he here? What happened to him? Did Chad and Nicolette kill him and take over the Illuminati? I wonder if we'll meet him, maybe. Okay, anything new on the news?
Live from Cairo, where the headmaster of a Tarsus Academy has...
Nope, already listened to that.
Trier's just been a circus lately.
Meanwhile, we have been accused of...
We were only following Luminon Saman's directives. We had no idea what...
The Nine Worlds is a no-weapon zone, strictly enforced since the riots.
So you want me to disarm and then...
No, you've just got to consent to the standard deactivation procedure.
Here you go.
Thanks for your cooperation.
Okay, so I think I'm going to go with Ava because I can't quite find the reason to pay 750 credits for Sid when there is an infinitely cheaper option available.
The whole reason I joined the Order was to get away from factory manufacturing.
But I wonder if Tracer Tong has anything to say about the latest developments.
I found Her Holiness. Turns out she's Nicolette Duclair, an Illuminatus.
Of course she is. That was my precise purpose in sending you to save her, so that you would believe me when I say that we face a great danger. The Illuminati have been very successful at reshaping the post-collapse world. Control of our technology would allow them to create a hand-picked ruling elite.
How can they simultaneously support the ideals of the Order and the commercialism of the WTO?
The Illuminati have always sought just one thing: centralization. Centralization of wealth, power, and ideology. The implementation details are unimportant.
So they centralize wealth with the WTO and ideology with the Order. What about power?
That they hope to get from us. Work with our charming co-conspirators just a little while longer. When you have the sequencing module for the gate, you'll be free to contact JC on your own. Extraordinary times, my young friend. We are about to see the rebirth of global civilization. What form it takes will shape human history for centuries. JC's vision 2 decades ago was far ahead of our means to implement it, but that is about to change. The rest of your questions will be answered in due time.
Well, actually, what was JC's vision 2 decades ago at this point? At first I thought that the new Dark Age ending was quote-unquote canon, but now it seems like the Helios ending is also canon, and maybe in part also the Illuminati ending, because obviously they've seized power since then. So that's kind of confusing.
My chopper is ready when you are.
Okay, but
not interested. Sorry.
I will be waiting for you to change your mind.
I'll actually go with her, but I'll do it in another episode because this one has been long enough. So I'm going to save and see you in the next one. Bye.